Thanks to the support as a channel member, Tyler Huffman. Well, I'm going to say it quietly just in case Football Manager is listening, but I think we might be in a title race. In fact, we were very briefly top of the league because Premier League fixtures have gone bananas. I don't know if this is a bug in the game or what's gone on, but if we go all the way back to where you normally get that long international break that happens from the end of September, so everything's normal up until there. But then there was like 3, I guess, game weeks in a row where we were playing. So we lost 4-0 to Man City. The next Premier League game, not our next game, the next Premier League game was us again against Burnley. We beat them and went top of the league. And then the next Premier League game was us again in the 12:30 kickoff. I don't know if that's ever happened in Premier League history. 3 consecutive Premier League games were all us. At that point, we'd played 3 more games than everybody else. It's kind of starting to even itself out a little bit now. But as you can see from the league table, we've still played more matches than everybody above us. So the league table is a little bit more flattering than it is in reality, I guess. But we are sat in a Champions League qualification spot, 3 points behind Arsenal. And we have a potential superstar joining us in January, which we've already pre-arranged. This guy, Tim Kelly, is a 26-year-old American striker. He's 6'3" with the kind of physicals that, I mean, they please me. This is everything I've ever wanted in a striker. That little combination of what's going on the screen there. I'm so excited by him. I'll even show you his lovely love heart hexagon thing or whatever you call these. A good striker is always a heart shape, and that's a pretty good heart shape. But this boy is going to score some goals. Weirdly, he hasn't really in his career previously, but for us, he's going to score some goals. Don't be alarmed by Jude McRobbie being on there. We did reject that transfer, obviously. And in fact, McRobbie is one of a number of players who we've removed the release clauses for. Restes and Angeli both stopped being grumpy, so both got new contracts immediately. Angeli, in particular, has no release clause at all now. We've also removed the release clauses for Roivers, for Castro, for McRobbie. There were potentially a couple, and Zeta, I think, had a release clause. His is now gone as well. So, yeah, we've been doing some contract shenanigans in between matches as well. And today we've got 2 home games, Spurs and Bournemouth, who Bournemouth are rock bottom of the league. Spurs are below us as well. If we win both of these, we could conceivably end the episode once again on top of the Premier League. And no, I still don't know what my best system is, my best combination of players is. It's an exciting time to be a Blackburn fan. We've got Restes in goal, a back four of Hincapié, Castro, Roivers and Angeli. I think that's pretty much a settled first choice back four at this point. Nielsen and Nzita in midfield is also pretty settled, and it's just the front four where things get confusing. McRobbie is starting on the left today, Evans on the right. It does mean that, what's his face, the Scottish guy, McAdams, misses out. Although, why has Pastkev not selected him? Why is he not even on the bench? Is he injured? He's not fully fit. Okay, Pastkev had his reasons. Good work, Pastkev. And then Harley and Ilatsi up front, who obviously know they've now got a striker who's better than either of them coming in and joining us in 2 months' time. Will hopefully set a fire up their backside so they both start rattling in some goals. Because as well as we're playing, we still don't have that thing that I always want, a 30-goal-a-season striker. I don't want to share the goals around. I'm greedy. I want one guy to get like 40 goals. And we don't have that. And I'm hoping the new boy will be that. But we'll see, I guess. That's quite a good FM26 central midfield Spurs have got going on there. You would think they would be higher up the league than they are. It looks like they've done some decent recruitment. But then I guess it just all got a little bit Spursy for him. But that is McRobbie releasing Harley, who, again, he's just not quick. And bear in mind, he's quick. I'm going somewhere with this. Physically, he's very fast. But mentally, he wants to play like Teddy Sheringham. And it's really annoying because he's got all the attributes to be a proper, fast, get one-on-one with the defenders and ruin them striker, and he just doesn't want to do it. Here's another opportunity for him. Will he actually skin that guy? I mean, okay, this time he does, but He could have gone around the outside of him and then driven it across goal for his strike partner. Even then, he didn't really use his pace. He used his skill to go round him the opposite way and then have a shot. But he's fast. 17 acceleration, 17 pace. Just knock it past the guy and leave him there. That's what he should be doing, and he just won't do it. But there is Gaspar Castro, who's finally getting a run in the team as a starter. One of the two very tall centre-backs we've got in the team. Roivers is 6'5", Castro is 6'5". We've got a couple of lengthy boys at the back for us, and we are starting to score some set pieces, which is jolly nice to see. It's a very, very solid defence because obviously Hincapié just as comfortable playing at centre-back. We've got him as an inverted full-back as well, so they do kind of become a three when Angeli goes forward, and he doesn't go forward very often because he's playing as a full-back rather than a wing-back. So we've got four guys there who are very much about the defending, which leaves the rest of the team to go forward and do fun things. See, McRobbie doesn't have the same physical attributes as Harley, but much more willing to just go past a guy and get a cross in, and it's led to a goal. Annoyingly, for the sentence I was in the middle of saying, it is Angeli just charging forward from right back, who's there to apply the finish. So he does go forward occasionally. As you can see, it's a lovely finish from him as well. That doesn't happen very often. What I was saying was still right. Listen to me. Don't be watching what's going on screen. Just listen to me. Consider this a podcast. I'll kind of tell you what's going on some of the time. We're 2-0 up against Tottenham currently, and we're about to go 3-0 up because we've got another corner. It's going to be Nielsen to hit the in-swinger, looking for that far post again, and Castro does an almost identical goal to the first one. And it's not near post shenanigans. It's just he's 6'5" and good in the air. We might finally have our defender who's going to score loads of goals for us. Certainly today, the far post and Castro causing all kinds of problems. 2 goals for him, 3 goals for us in general. And we're dealing with Tottenham the way Tottenham should always be dealt with, which is very good to see. We're getting nothing out of the front two, though. Which I guess when you're 3-0 up isn't the end of the world. But it is frustrating being set-piece FC. And I would like to... this is why we're spending 45 million on a new striker. I want someone who's just going to score loads of goals. Please. By the way, Martinelli, the guy who Castro's dominated for both of those headers, he's the Premier League Dream 11 goalkeeper. He's the best goalkeeper in the league, apparently. And twice in the first half of this match, he's just been flapping at a corner that he's literally let go past him for a 6'5" defender to head in. So... if that's the best goalkeeper the Premier League has to offer, Restes must be right up there as one of the best, you would think, surely. And he's only 31. There's a possibility if we keep getting better as a club, Restes could end up in that Dream 11. We could have the future best goalkeeper in the Premier League, which would be very nice to see. And I'm going to claim that as a save there, even though he didn't touch it. It went out for a goal kick after hitting the post. But it's more spectacular. Like I said, don't watch, just listen to me. Restes just made a fantastic save. What a guy. Now he's not grumpy anymore. What a guy. Right, Angeli's tired, so Riedel can come on at right back. Hincapié off for Baker Whiting at left back, and Nielsen is also tired. So we'll bring on Carstens for more game time at defensive midfield for him. He's kind of, I think, my first choice attacking midfielder at the moment. But I'm trying to force him into being this defensive midfielder that we signed him to be, because I don't want to write off Koklov completely. If we're only sometimes playing with a number 10 and it's only sometimes Koklov, we're going to have a really talented wonder kid who's just going to disappear. So we kind of need Carstens to get his share of game time in this system so that we can use Koklov in the other system and just try and keep all of our wonder kids happy, while we find out which ones of them develop into being world superstars, which will hopefully be all of them. That would be lovely if that happens. Right, and Zita nods it down to McRobbie. McRobbie loses the ball, but Zita wins it back again. And now we're just knocking the ball around nicely on the edge of the area. McRobbie gets in behind, squares it for Elazzi, and he scores. And McRobbie's just a very good traditional winger. And I think it was only in the last episode I was talking about how great he was as an inside forward. He can do either role. He's really benefiting from our lack of strength in depth in wide areas because he's playing so much football. when you could argue he maybe hadn't done anything to deserve the run that he's got. But now he's got the run, he's doing really, really well. Here's another example of we don't have much strength and depth out wide. So Federico Bensivenga, who's like our fifth choice striker, he's going to come on and play 10 minutes on the left-hand side because he can theoretically play there. Similar to Carstens, get him game time, force him into being able to do the role. He's never going to get in the team as a striker, or not anytime soon, you wouldn't think. So let's force him into being a winger. By the way, how many times has this guy ruined us last season? Twice. We played them twice. He ruined us both times, playing as the false nine. They've clearly got a new manager in who they're playing him a little bit deeper. Fair to say, didn't really work. Should probably play him as the false nine again like they did before when he ripped us apart on 2 separate occasions. But we'll take it. We're throwing money around as well, which isn't ideal. Give Castro a pat on the head for his 2 goals. And we are back up to 3rd, level on points with Arsenal and Chelsea, and 2 weeks until we play Bournemouth. So they might have played their games in hand before we get to the Bournemouth game, because there's got to be times when they do, you would think. Yeah, Chelsea and Arsenal both play there, and then we play the next day. We could still end the episode top of the league, but it seems unlikely. Well, it's just become a little bit more likely that we could finish the episode top of the table, because both Arsenal and Chelsea bottled their game in, or one of their games in hand over us. And as we now face bottom of the table Bournemouth, we know that a win would put us top of the league. We're making one change, or a couple of changes to the team, 3 changes to the team, all off the back of international duty and players coming back not fully fit. Hincapié, in particular, not fully fit after international duty. So Fimbres comes in for him. Roivers moving out to play that inverted fullback role on the left-hand side. We've also brought Landu in midfield, and McAdams now comes back in on the right-hand side because he is now fit enough to start again. And I think he probably is my starting right winger at this point. So let's get the team submitted. There is a little bit of transfer news going on in the background as well. Zafiris is on his way to Fenerbahce for less than £1 million. He was a short-term temporary solution this time last year. He served his purpose. He can move on with our blessing. Didn't cause a fuss. That's exactly how it should be with these older players when it's time for them to move on. But Zafiris is on his way. The more notable one probably is that Tyjon has asked for a transfer. Justifiably so. He's not played at all this season, really. There might have had a couple of appearances off the bench, but he's well down the pecking order. The only reason we didn't sell him in the summer is because he's homegrown at club, and obviously that's very handy for European registration, and it will be a problem losing that homegrown at club status, although I think Angeli will become homegrown at club, so kind of replaces him there, and we must have at least another guy, at least one more guy who came in at 18, was Castro 18 when he signed? Yeah, Castro will become homegrown at club as well, so those two will eventually become homegrown at club to replace him. We might have one season of European registration complication, but I think we can probably let him go, and ultimately probably let Higgins go at some point as well, although Higgins isn't asking to go yet. So obviously we'd like to keep him around for a little bit longer, and we have used Higgins a little bit more. Yeah, I think Tyjon, there's so much competition for places in attacking midfield, and half the time we're not even using an attacking midfielder anymore. I think his time is done. He's 28 now, I think. It's time for him to go and tear up the Championship for another 3 years before he retires and comes back as our loan manager or something. Right, McRobbie. Oh, my word. Jude McRobbie. What a goal. This boy gets better and better. Genuinely, at this point, he might be the star of that Wigan youth intake. That is phenomenal. And if we actually look at their current star ratings, he's 3-star, 4-star. Rob Harley, 3-star, 4.5-star. There was a period when Jude McRobbie was showing us 3.5-star of current. He was actually considered better current ability than Harley briefly. But that was brilliant from McRobbie. And now Alazzi with the corner. Castro's there again. He is causing so many problems from these set pieces. Now, that one was a near post outswinger. We're doing all sorts of different flavours of set piece. And Castro is just a big, strong boy and causes all manner of problems. Not forgetting the fact that Roivers, of course, is there as well alongside him. So if Castro does miss it, Roivers is there to also be 6'5". McAdams now trying to get an attack going. Alazzi plays it out to McRobbie. Has he got magic in him again? I mean, it was a lovely little pullback from him. Unfortunately, the pass this time, his end product, not quite so good. And Roivers is struggling a little bit here with the fact he's not a left back. Just about gets away with it. Castro is there to cover for him. And Nzita, I mean, he is one of the unsung heroes of this team. I actually was willing to let him go in the summer, but you've seen in that move how many times he's just there to intercept. He drops back between the centre-backs. He's our playmaker as well, so he gets things going from deep as well. But so many times he's the guy who's intercepting the ball again before... Oh, and look at that for a pass. But he intercepts the ball so often before it even gets to our back four. He would be one for the defensive contributions in my Football Manager FPL game that I'm trying to make a thing. Are we really? Am I just going to keep going on about that now until they do it? It's going to get boring after 8 years. Right, he's got to be offside there, surely. Ref, where's VAR? He had to be offside. Ref, come on now. Yeah. It's the spirit. You took your time. Linesman, you probably could have put your flag up there. That was so obvious. Oh, my word. Oh, dear. Why did that need to go to VAR? Linesmen are still allowed to have eyeballs. That was just silly. We should be doing better than winning 1-0, by the way. I think we're just a little bit nervy. That's not a live league table. I think we're just a little bit nervy because we know a win puts us top of the league. And being top of the league with more than a quarter of the season gone, I mean, it's obvious. Oh, God. That one probably is a goal. Maybe we won't do the speech about how great we are just yet. Restes, that's just terrible. Roivers is a big boy and you missed him. I don't know how you miss him. That's the first shot on target they've had in the match. And it's 1-1. And I think at this point, we demand more. And we go attacking because we should be winning this game. We're trying to be top. They've got 4 points all season. We can't be dropping points here and expect to be in a title race. That's absurd. They're in behind us again. Oh, my word. Right, this time the linesman does have his flag up. So surely this one is also getting disallowed. Okay. We've had a couple of warnings now. Are we going to stop being rubbish? My word. See, normally, if we were doing the 4-2-3-1, we'd change to the 4-2-4 here. Do we now change to what, to my brain, is a less attacking system? I think we probably do, just because what we are doing isn't working. So let's try the one that might work. What have I done here? He's supposed to be there. He's supposed to be there. Right, so we switch around to that system. And Zita's tired, so Nielsen can come in for him. McAdams can come out for Koklov. Harley can drop out to that wing. And then Alazzi is going to come off for Higgins. And Bournemouth are exactly the kind of team that Higgins should be able to grab a winner against, you would think. But this is where we need that new striker. Being able to bring him on here would be awesome. To be honest, he'd probably be already on the pitch and we'd be bringing Alazzi on here. It does definitely mark the end of Higgins, I imagine. Oh, we've got a little bit too over-enthusiastic with the pressing there. And it's caused us problems, and Restes keeping us in the game. But this is not a good performance from us at all. We're supposed to be better than this. I'm not very happy with how this is going. We're going to take off Harley. Or are we? We're going to take off Angeli. And bring on Baker Whiting. Castro's tired as well. We could probably bring Hincapié on and do that. I was going to take off Harley. We'll leave him on. We don't want tired legs at the back when we're already giving them chances. And getting Roivers away from left back probably isn't the worst plan I've ever had. Oh my word. Restes, genuinely, he's keeping us in the game at this point. Demand more again. If we are going to win the league, if we're going to get in the Champions League, we need someone to step up and show a bit of character here and grab the winner for us. Right, it's a corner. Castro's off. Obviously, Roivers is still around. It's going to be McRobbie to hit. Please don't play it short. He doesn't. And no one's quite like Castro from that situation. Now, Bournemouth, with the counter-attack, I think they're onside. That's offside, surely. I think they were originally onside. That second pass looked offside. They got the corner anyway, though, and that's disappointing. That just screams nerves, bottle job, because we had the opportunity to go top and we were just very cowardly about how we approached it. We are level on points with Man United and Arsenal. We have played 2 more games than either of them. That's the Conference League. Yeah. We're definitely in the hunt for the Champions League. We need a little bit of killer instinct to get us into the title race, though. And hopefully, he'll be arriving at the start of the next episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.